LA This Week.
Lunch with Paul at the Cactus Taqueria. I'm Anna Marcos. Find out why these lunches with Councilmember Paul Krekorian are such hot topics coming up.
It's safer, it's more beautiful, and it conserves water. A plan to refurbish 100 or so soccer fields with synthetic turf comes to South Los Angeles. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, why 18 Emmy-nominated television programs are receiving an extra honor from the city.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Well, safety upgrades are coming to one of the most hazardous grade crossings in the entire country. The good news, it's not in our city. The bad news, the dangers still affect many of us. Gil Reyes tells us why.
Transit experts call it the most dangerous railroad crossing in all of California. Since 2013, 4 people have been killed here. Some 20-plus accidents have occurred at Rosecrans and Marquardt Avenues in the city of Santa Fe Springs. Trains rumble through the crossing every 10 minutes, leaving traffic at a standstill for an estimated 21 hours per week. Making things worse, how the tracks are set up. They cross diagonally in a way that's confusing for drivers and limits visibility. But relief is coming. A soon-to-be-built overpass is expected to shift vehicle traffic above the tracks. Mayor Edward Garcetti ventures outside LA city limits to push for the ramp's construction.
All of this region's transportation system ties together. So these trains come from the Port of Los Angeles, carrying cargo from our port, going all the way into the Inland Empire and out to the country. And when we make these faster, that means trains that come through Los Angeles, whether it's future high-speed rail or whether it's Amtrak and Metrolink today, can move faster and can move safer.
Construction of the overpass is expected to begin in 2019 and will take an estimated 2 years to complete. In Santa Fe Springs, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Metro officials have received the final portion of federal funding to build the ramp. Total cost, $137 million. Well, turning now to a new housing development that's going up near downtown LA, and this one promises to be one of a kind with a Mexican twist. Ana Marcos explains.
This mariachi groundbreaking gives us a small taste of what La Plaza Village will bring to this area near El Pueblo.
We really feel like it's going to re-energize and revitalize this whole historic area of downtown. It'll bring about 500 new residents here, to work, to play, to shop, to eat. So it's going to be a real spark.
Sure, the mixed-use development will bring the usual shops, retail space, a restaurant, and 355 units, 20% of which will be affordable housing. It will do all the things city leaders want and more, because it will also highlight the contributions of Mexicans to the U.S. culture. A historic paseo and a learning kitchen are part of the plans.
It is going to have various galleries, but it's also going to contain the Mexican kitchen, or La Cocina Mexicana, in which we're going to have a museum of all of our foods, which is one of our biggest contributions to the United States and to Los Angeles.
30% of the jobs created by the project will go to locals, another big plus for city leaders.
You're going to see many opportunities for people to get jobs. That's our number one, I think, issue for many of us, the economic development and the ability to thrive.
With Chinatown on one side, downtown LA and El Pueblo on the other, and lots of mariachi music and Mexican food in between, this place promises to be one big cultural smorgasbord. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The development is set for completion in 2018. As one development goes up, a relic of the 50s is about to be torn down. The Jordan Downs public housing project is about to be history as city leaders work to spur economic development in Watts. Ana Marcos has more.
Rarely is there so much celebration over housing demolition as Mayor Eric Garcetti and Councilmember Joe Buscaino take the first few swings at it. The first 4 buildings at the Jordan Downs housing project will face the wrecking ball. to make way for a new development that could create better housing and retail opportunities in Watts.
Watts is rising. It's a beautiful day, and everybody here deserves to have this.
Some community members have argued the project will kick out low-income residents with higher rents, but the new billion-dollar development will double the number of housing units and include 250 affordable housing units. A new retail center with a supermarket, community center, and 9 acres of open space are also in the works.
We deserve sit-down restaurants here, we deserve shops here, and we deserve jobs.
30% of the jobs for the project will go to residents in the community, and city leaders say even more is in store for Watts.
The new Watts will have better schools and education like the newly renovated Jordan High School. The new Watts that will have more healthy food choices like the farmers market here in Watts. More supermarkets.
For many here who have long suffered from lack of jobs, livable wages, or even neighborhood amenities like restaurants and shops, the new Jordan Downs promises to brighten the quality of life for the residents. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Jordan Downs was originally built in the 1950s for World War II workers and soldiers. Well, it seems like we hear about a random mass shooting almost every day. It's a scenario none of us want to ever experience. But what if it did happen to you? Would you know what to do? Well, Rasha Goel has more on a recent city training session and some important tips that could save your life. Now, some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing.
Active shooter killings are a tragic, unpredictable reality. And
the sounds of gunfire erupt at this warehouse as a gunman suddenly begins shooting. Employees run for cover. Scenes like this play out almost every day on TV. And one day, it could happen to you. So what do you do?
Killers usually choose their victims at random. They look for easy targets. So the harder you are to see or to hit, the safer you are. When an attack starts, if you can find a way out of the location, do so.
Officials say by thinking clearly, you can improve your chances of making it out, as seen in this scenario.
What are we gonna do? Look at me. I can get us out. Stay behind me. Stay now.
Use cover, something that will stop a bullet, and concealment, something that at least keeps you out of sight.
And these are just some of the pointers that were taught at this active shooter training for city employees.
It's better to be prepared, that maybe your natural tendency would be to freeze, and so you need to be thinking about it so that that isn't how you respond.
It gave me the insights of things I didn't think about.
Almost anything can be turned into an improvised weapon. Look for something that can disrupt the shooter's ability to see, breathe, or control their weapon.
Other things to remember include lock and barricade doors, turn off lights and move away from any windows, and silence your cell phone.
Unfortunately, these things are happening. It's just, we have to be kind of prepared.
We may not always be able to prevent a shooting, but if you have the tools, it could save your life. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The entire video is available on YouTube. Just search "Surviving an Active Shooter." Well, it's a way for residents in the Valley to get to know their small restaurants and eateries, as well as one of their city leaders. Anna Marcos drops in for one of Councilman Paul Krekorian's Lunch with Paul events.
It may look like a vacation in Cancun, but this Mexican fiesta is right in the hood, as Councilmember Paul Krekorian holds his monthly Lunch with Paul get-together, this one at the Cactus Taqueria in Valley Village. The message, get to know your neighbors and your councilman, and help support small business in the Valley.
I feel like, oh, what a cute place. I want to go there sometime, and never quite have the hook to do it. So this gives people the hook, and they say, oh, okay, I meant to try that place, now I'm going to go do it, and hopefully they'll keep coming back.
Krekorian has been doing these lunches for about a year now, which means he's helped about a dozen of these businesses get their name out in the community.
These lovely people with their needs are the one-story home. This is going to be in the backyard of.
But the neighbors also come to get the councilman's ear and find solutions to problems in their neighborhood. Some residents complain about homelessness.
I have my issues with the homeless on the freeway on-ramps, on the off-ramps, living on park benches, in front of Gelson's, in front of Trader Joe's, in the panhandling.
Others are up in arms over a proposed development in their community.
All our houses are sweet little, one-story bungalow, California bungalows. This subdivision looks like a prison.
Krekorian talks to all. He promises to walk through the neighborhood to see what can be done about zoning and new development. Some of his constituents applaud a new stop sign in the area. And one woman concerned about crime has now teamed up with police.
We're able to put her together with her senior lead officer, and hopefully they're going to be creating a neighborhood watch in that area.
Sometimes Krekorian has to skip the Mexican fiesta. With all the citizens wanting his attention, there's often just no time for lunch. Today is one of those days, which just gave him another reason to come visit this small establishment again. I'm Anna Margos for LA This Week.
Well, Councilmember Krekorian says he's looking at visiting other small establishments besides restaurants because other small merchants need the love and the business too. Well, you'll soon be seeing more parks and open space in LA. 2 local citizens received special honors from the city for their bravery and initiative, and an annual tradition showcases the unique flavor of a local neighborhood. All these stories in City Beat. There will soon be more parks in LA after the City Council approved a new ordinance updating the city's old development fees program for the first time in more than 3 decades. The changes will boost funding for parks and open space in Los Angeles by charging fees to apartment developers, which were generally excluded from the fees. The new rules will also let the city spend the funds in a wider area than previously allowed. LAPD officer Donald Thompson, who was awarded the Medal of Valor last May by President Barack Obama, was honored in City Hall by council members Mitchell Englander, Paul Krekorian, and Nuri Martinez. Thompson, who has been with the department for almost 3 decades, rescued a driver from a burning car in December of 2013 and saved the man's life. He says that while he appreciates the accolades, he just did what had to be done.
Down inside, I don't really feel as if I'm a hero. I did something to help someone in a time of need.
This is what police officers and firefighters, our first responders, are all about. The fact that they put their lives on the front line to protect complete strangers.
Another hero was recognized by the city. Clean Streets hero Rosie Brown was honored recently by the Board of Public Works for her hard work in cleaning up her neighborhood.
If you have to be involved, you have to have an actual, connection with the city. You have a connection with your neighbors. You have to be able to go out there, greet them, say, hey, let's keep our neighborhood clean.
The Clean Streets program was started by Mayor Edward Garcetti to encourage folks to take action to clean up their neighborhood streets and keep them clean. City officials say community leaders like Rosie are an inspiration to all.
We love seeing volunteers like Rosie that really are the heartbeat of their community.
The 10th annual Frogtown Art Walk was held recently in Elysian Valley along the LA River, featuring dozens of special exhibits from local artists and craft makers. It also offered a variety of food selections from local eateries and musical performances. City Councilmember Mitchell Farrell said he's proud to sponsor the event.
One of the premier events in Northeast Los Angeles, if not the whole city, for art and culture and people from the neighborhood and beyond to just come on a hot August evening and have a good time.
As we inch closer to the presidential election, the drive is on to lure more Latinos to the polls. Their numbers are huge in California, but for some reason, many of them don't vote. The mayor is teaming with a Hollywood veteran to help change things. Gil Reyes reports.
Heading into November's elections, actor-director Edward James Almos launches a Spanish-language, nonpartisan Get Out the Vote campaign.
It's a campaign that's called Este Año, Tu Voto es Cosa Seria. And that to me is the essence of one of the great commitments that the mayor has for getting registered, and if you are registered, to vote.
The star of Stand and Deliver and Blade Runner is featured in a series of public service announcements airing on Spanish-language TV. Almos' campaign has the support of Mayor Edward Garcetti, who spoke at this year's Latinos and Society Summit. Since taking office, the mayor has urged non-U.S. citizens to become citizens so they too can cast ballots. People can visit LA City libraries for help.
So inside every library, there's a citizenship corner. There's a librarian trained in helping people go down that pathway. And I stood up a new Office of Immigrant Affairs for the first time since the Hahn administration. And we've helped 50,000 people in the city of LA begin or finish their pathway to citizenship.
Now, if only they voted. While Latinos make up nearly 40% of California's population, the latest numbers show just 24% are registered voters, and even fewer Latinos actually cast ballots. The hope is ads like these will help boost those numbers in this all-important election year. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
U.S. citizens can register to vote at clerk.lacity.org/elections. Well, over in Hollywood, they're not the Oscars, but they still shine the spotlight on Emmy-nominated shows that are made right here in L.A. Rasha Goel has the highlights.
Just like Dorothy said, in the classic Wizard of Oz, there is no place like home.
Hollywood is the home for production, and the term roll camera is being heard more often all over the city. Coinciding with the Emmys, Councilman Mitch O'Farrell's Made in Hollywood honors recently recognized 18 Emmy-nominated productions.
Anyone who knows the show, we love LA. We just sit around making up jokes about LA, and they stay in the show. So thank you all. We're so happy to be here and be honored.
TV shows such as Modern Family, Veep, and The People vs. O.J. Simpson were awarded for keeping their productions in Los Angeles.
There's a very large writing staff on a comedy, usually 13 to 15 people. And there's a lot of conversation with the network and the studios on content, because comedy does break barriers sometimes in certain subject matters and things like that. So it's much easier if they come to table reads and they have the dialogue right there.
This is Hollywood. They're great secondary markets, but they're just not Hollywood here. I mean, look at the weather. It also means you're never rained out on a production. As a producer, that means so much. I can't tell you how much money is lost when you go to other places and you have to delay because of a rain date.
Made in Hollywood Honors was launched in 2011 and recognizes both Oscar and Emmy-nominated projects produced in the state of California. And this year, the list of honorees grew 20%.
We know that the film and television tax credit that the state honored us with has made a huge difference.
Shows such as Veep, who used to film in Maryland, have returned to LA.
The show was really fortunate they were able to apply for and get the tax credit. I think the huge benefit of moving to LA is that the writing staff and the cast and the crew all get to be close to their families.
Out of our 160,000 members across the country, 90,000 are LA locals. So do you realize that when we have production here and people can sleep in their own beds, they can go to their kids' soccer games?
The message here is pretty clear. There is no better place to shoot than Hollywood. From the City of Dreams, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
As important it is to keep production going in LA, it's just as important that post-production stays here too. Rasha Goel has more on a top post-production company that's infusing money into the city and its community. Rasha.
Yana, I'm here at Fuse FX, a new 27,000 square foot facility which provides post-production and visual effects for shows such as American Horror Story, The Walking Dead, and Empire. Now, the opening of this facility represents what the City of Angels is doing to keep production and post-production in Los Angeles, helping both Angelenos and the economy. Fuse FX, which has helped lead the resurgence of visual effects production in Los Angeles, was founded in 2006 at a time when many visual effects companies were curtailing operations in Los Angeles. Having been in LA for a decade, their new location in Sherman Oaks positions them within easy reach to studios and independent production companies.
The opening of this new office in Los Angeles is a bet that we can continue to lead the rebirth of visual effects in LA. Even with AB 1839, there's continued pressure to move work to Canada and other tax rebate locations with more extensive benefits. That makes it an ongoing challenge to sustain growth and stability in LA. but we've shown it can be done.
It will provide many benefits to our communities and the local economy by attracting hundreds of jobs and talented individuals to the San Fernando Valley and generating tax dollars for her neighborhood benefits.
The state has set aside $330 million in tax credits for productions in California. Last year, the city already saw an influx in productions.
LA City is becoming increasingly a business-friendly city, a place where we're lowering our gross receipts tax, a place where we're making it easy to do filming, we're giving our city buildings to productions, and I think that's a reflection of why 82 pilots filmed here in the city of LA last year, more than any city in the world.
With 175 employees, Fuse FX aims to tap into the talent and resources in LA.
The range of talent that we're able to draw from here, we probably have an average of 15 years experience with almost every employee we have, and there's no other place in the world you can do that.
Altano expects the company's Los Angeles staff to eventually reach 250. In Sherman Oaks, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The mayor also says efforts continue to provide more incentives that work both for the city and productions. Well, beautifying your local neighborhood park can leave you beaming with pride. And in South LA, community members have plenty to be proud of. Gil Reyes explains how some new turf can prove to be a game changer in this 5th year of drought.
Go! What a difference in the South LA neighborhood. About a year ago, the soccer field at Trinity Recreation Center was an unsafe, uninviting dirt lot. Now look at it. It's green and gorgeous. But that's not grass they're playing in, it's synthetic turf.
This plan literally a game changer. Last year, the Department of Recreation and Parks announced plans to refurbish 100 or so of its soccer fields made of grass or dirt with synthetic turf. This park is the 39th park to do that.
Since there's no grass to maintain, the turf, made of a mineral called zeolite, is expected to save 500,000 gallons of water per year at Trinity alone. Councilman Curran Price says the city kicked in new playground equipment, security cameras, and lighting for good measure.
The improvements that have been made were largely done because of a group of mothers who were here who said that, we just want better for our kids. They were very active in lobbying, as a matter of fact, for the city council. We were able to secure funding for many of the improvements that we've made.
But not everyone's a fan of artificial turf. Though you save money on your water bill, some say you're more likely to get injured playing in it. But Soccer Hall of Famer and former U.S. national team midfielder Hugo Perez disagrees.
I played on this turf also when I was a pro, and anybody can get hurt in anywhere. It doesn't have to do with the field. I think the field is great, but the young kids is perfect. It's flat, the ball rolls well. What else you want? This is great. You get kids from Central America, South America, Asia, Africa, and you bring them to a field like this, they're in heaven.
You need to be proud of your parks in your community because, you know what? We need you guys to take care of them. We can't do it without you. So we need all of you guys to help and participate in that. So just promise me, all you guys promise me that you'll do that? Yeah! Good.
In South LA, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The Department of Recreation and Parks says all of their newly refurbished soccer fields will save the city 63 million gallons of water per year. And even more transformations are coming to save the city even more water. While heading north now to Boyle Heights, where many folks came out to make sure they got their hands on a piece of LA history. As Gil Reyes reports, the now demolished 6th Street Bridge was near and dear to many people's hearts.
With rock music blaring in the background, hundreds stood in line to get a piece of downtown history.
What brought me here is for the 6th Street Bridge rock. This is very important to me because I grew up here and I've been on 6th Street Bridge my whole life. My mom told me about it and me and my boyfriend used to skate it all the time. So this means a lot to us.
Welcome to Rock Day LA, a time to remember the original 6th Street Viaduct overlooking the LA River, a bridge that for decades graced many Hollywood films and linked downtown to the east side. People got a chance to pick up free souvenirs from the structure, first come, first served.
My office, along with the Bureau of Engineering, are giving away 1,000 rocks that came from the demolition of the 6th Street Bridge. As many of you know, we unfortunately had to demolish our 1932 built 6th Street Bridge because the materials that were used to construct it is making eat itself up from the inside. One of the most iconic bridges in the city of LA, and a lot of people have emotional attachment to the bridge. They either crossed it, their parents crossed it, they saw it in the movie, so everyone wants a piece of the bridge.
There you go. Got a couple rocks. I figured I'd get some rocks in it because that's what caused the bridge to fail. So a little bit of LA history.
And what did you get?
Well, I got a little bigger piece.
It's fun to watch. Some people want ones that are shaped as a heart. Some people want ones that are flat. Someone wants small. The kids love the really large ones, so it's just fun to be out here and sharing a piece of this history with the community.
An all-new 6th Street Bridge is under construction and set to open in 2019. From Rock Day LA in downtown, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Collectors also walked home with certificates of authenticity and Rock Day LA t-shirts. Well, enjoy one final summer bash with tributes to Prince and David Bowie. Learn everything you've ever wanted to know about going green during the LA Green Festival, and sail the open sea on a tall ship. All this in this week's Things to Do. The Los Angeles Zoo's 1980s themed Roaring Nights summer music series, featuring tributes to Prince and David Bowie, offers a totally tubular way to end the summer. The party for ages 18 and up keeps the hits happening and the tunes tight, while transforming the zoo into one bodacious bash. Legendary 80s DJ Richard Blade spins the best music of the era, and 2 additional DJs oversee a one-of-a-kind silent disco, with individual musical choices offered via wireless headphones filled with lots of Bowie, Prince, and more. Roaring Nights also includes LA's favorite food trucks, full-service bars, and a neon paint party for guests. It all happens on Friday, September 16th from 7 to 11 p.m. at the LA Zoo. For more, visit lazoo.org. The LA Green Festival is a vibrant, dynamic marketplace where companies and organizations come to showcase their green products and services, and where people go to learn how to live healthier, more sustainable lives. You can shop and enjoy vegan, vegetarian, organic foods, hands-on demos, educational activities, and inspirational speakers. The festival takes place September 16th through the 18th at the Los Angeles Convention Center. For more, visit greenfestivals.org. Sail the San Pedro Bay and watch the sunset from the deck of a tall ship during the Tall Ships Family Adventure Sails. You can sit back and relax or become part of the crew, your choice. All ages are welcome. Be sure to wear soft-soled shoes. Layered clothing is recommended, and don't forget to bring your sense of adventure. Sailing vessels provide unparalleled access to coastal ecosystems, in addition to introducing students to the art and science of sailing. Learning comes to life aboard those tall ships on Saturday, September 17th at Berth 78 in San Pedro. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.